Hey y'all. Y'all still speaking? Cool. Cause I've been holding this in all week. So y'all like, who are you? What are we talking about? Why are we here? So this is episode 1, episode uno. Um, who am I? What did I like to go by? What are my pronouns? Who is they? So I go by Mara. Government name is unknown currently. If you know, you know me. If you don't, you don't. My pronouns are she, her. This is something pretty much of why I started this. I've been wanting to do a podcast for the absolute longest, and the system that I'm using this on, this little Zoom pod track, what P4, man. When I tell you I've been having this in my closet collecting this, I bought this for my birthday. Embarrassingly, I think almost 2 years, and I have not given myself the commitment to actually sit down and do something. So this episode is not gonna be too short, and most of my episodes are like 30 minutes. But the idea of y'all still speaking is like I'm pretty much just yapping. There is no script. Now I do have like an outline of pretty much what I like to talk about, what is on my mind. So I don't feel like I'm just kind of rambling, even though I kind of am low key, just a little bit. But it is more so just kind of getting stuff on my chest, feeling like you have a space without, talking about your space, like having that moment. It's kind of like when you bonding with somebody and you don't really have to say why you bonding with somebody, you just bond with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it is just that idea that you are just getting yourself in that position of just trying to be okay with the changes you have going on in your life. So I am in my young adult age bracket. I'm pretty much just wanting to get my feet wet in terms of being able to be more adaptive with my hobbies, my career, what I want to do. I'm currently in college. Be like, you sound young. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do. I'm gonna be honest with you. My voice, I don't think that my voice matches my face, low key. And you will hear me go through different octaves, like I'm in puberty. That is just like it's real. I feel like growing up, I wasn't the most comfortable with my deeper voice. Like I'd be at Wendy's trying to get off a phone, and they'd be like, "Yes, sir," and then you get to the window, and they double down before they look me in the face and be like, "Yes, sir, your total is, thank you." And I personally feel like my voice don't even be that deep, but I know when I wake up, I can't even pillow talk, cause they be like, "Dang, your voice, did mine. You sure right. You know what? Heck yeah." And I'm not mad. And like now that I'm older, like I'm not really bothered by it. But like I said, I'm just gonna be yapping, just talking about what's on my mind. So y'all still speaking is just creating a space for the people who really like to yap, for the people who really just, like to put your mind somewhere and you feel like you don't have nowhere to go. Sometimes I do feel like I will throw some comedy in here or there, but more so it's just like this is pretty much a phone call. We on the phone. I'm talking to you. You talking to me. You could be you've been in a car. You could be in school. Probably you need to be paid attention to your schoolwork. But you can be in school, and if you drive, you need to be paying attention to that road because, oh my gosh, if you live in the DFW area, like I do currently, y'all can't drive. I love y'all, but Texas in general. Oh, we can't drive. Born and raised my entire life. Oh, we cannot drive. Like, I get it why people are scared of the interstates. I'm not. Y'all gonna have to move my way. I put my blinkers on, something that a lot of people in these towns can do. They don't do it. Like, I get that some of y'all coming from these different states. Please turn your blinker on. You turn your blinker on after you get over, it's pissing me off because what's the point of your blinker on and you already in the lane? I've already almost swerved and hit 2 cars by the time you actually got in your lane. But that's besides the point. But I'm just pretty much wanting to just kind of get it out my chest and just be like, hey y'all, this is me. This is real. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna get the light shine on me. Please tell me y'all know the Camp Rock song. Oh my gosh. Am I too young for some of y'all? Am I too old for some of y'all? Like, oh my god. This is why I'd be like, oh. I have if I give oldest vibes, I'm not. I am. Let me stop lying. I am the oldest on my mother's side, but on my dad, I am second oldest. I love my siblings. There's a bunch of us. I'm not naming no names because it's federal. But yeah, and if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm shitting in my bed. I'm shitting in my bed and chilling while talking about this. Cause I want you to be comfortable. I want me to be comfortable. What do you want to go by? What should I call y'all? I don't know. I do have a YouTube channel, so I personally just love to call everybody lovelies. I be calling people lovelies and darlings all up in real life, so it's just a natural habit for me. So I don't want to give y'all a personal label. I'll let y'all decide that later on. But personally, y'all gonna hear me say darling, loves, pookies a lot more than you will, a lot more than you'll ever notice. I promise you. If I had like a little counter, like ding, 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 it's when I say it, you gonna hear it go off like every 5 seconds. But like I say, just kind of wrapping up kind of what I started. This has pretty much just been just putting myself out there, giving myself the experience. I really have been wanting to tap into creatively, and I feel like everybody named mama. Now I am. This isn't the first year that I've moved on my own by myself, and having the space to be more creative in your own space is a lot different for my folks who have grown up and like you've been in your parents' house even after growing up. Like when you were in college, and I can't even say per se that I probably live like the stereotypical college experience. One, because I am a homebody, and secondly, I've pretty much been a commuter majority of my life. Like even this quote unquote semester or this quote unquote full year that I've been at this school now, I have not been. I've included myself in some activities, some clubs, but I kind of more so drew away from it for the fact that like currently right now where I'm at, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to do other stuff. It's just not fitting my lifestyle right now. So, and what people, oh my gosh, what people don't tell you about moving by yourself is it gets lonely. Don't get me wrong, I miss self-independent, miss social, miss independent. Do you know what that means? Like I very much am that girl, but it is just so hard to just be like, dang, I would love, and like to put in perspective, I live almost 3 hours away from my house. So like my uncle, even though he does live in this area, somewhat, he's a grown man with a wife, and they do have their own life. But I promise you, I do have I have grandparents, I have a papa that lives out here, and then I do have a great uncle that lives out here. He's my grandmother's brother. But it's still one of those things that like it's just nobody really tells you how hard it is to make friends, especially in college. When I ain't gonna hold y'all, I've taken a semester or two or three off. Like, I have no shame in saying that. Like, I feel like, personally, especially for the fact that I did graduate during the time of COVID, that is so difficult because at that point, between the IB diploma stuff, I got burnt out. If y'all even know what that is. IB is International Baccalaureate. I'm sure I probably said that last word wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It is just a program that is internationally worldwide acknowledged, and they are doing that in a lot of Texas schools and surrounding areas. And it is for me because I ended up getting depressed my senior year. It was just a lot, and I ain't gonna say I give up, but it was just a lot to bear when you already don't have the motivation or drive to do anything. And I ain't gonna hold you, I've been feeling that so more recently than I have, and I've been trying to get back into therapy. Oh my gosh, it's just growing up. Just give a background on myself. Growing up, me and my mother didn't have the best relationship. I love my mother dearly. That's my dog. I love whatever little baby did. That's my dog. That's my dog. No copyright. That's my dog. That's my dog. I don't even like the song, but I just find it so catchy. Have y'all seen that Caucasian man, and he be doing a little slinky slide dance in the club with his hands like kind of moving like a little wave? That's what I'm thinking of when I think of that song. I'm not gonna hold y'all. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, oh my gosh, we're on different sides of the internet, but it's okay. I wish low-key I could throw links up in here so I'd be like, oh, at this time of segment, da 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 da, and da. Maybe I'll code that. Sorry, I'm my major is computer science, so like I just be thinking of stuff like maybe I should code that. That would be so that would be so accessible to have, but I would have to have the codes for Spotify to be able to do that. I figured it out. Anyways, if I get really committed to this, maybe I will do something like that. But, I just want to create a little hobby for myself. Not that I'm trying to put too much pressure on myself, but it's more so I'm just trying to create the avenue and the path to even exist to start with. So that's pretty much about me. I took some breaks. Me and my mother didn't go up close. My grandma died. My grandma passed away very young. And it didn't create a rift, but it was more so like I lost somebody who I felt that was defending me more so frequently, to where I feel like I would just kind of, even as a child, I feel like I've been holding stuff in. And then when you finally get older and it's like, okay, if I don't say nothing, then nobody's going to defend me, or it's going to create a problem, then it shouldn't have. It's like I just didn't know how to shut up. Be real, I just didn't know how to shut up. So then it got to the point where I was like, okay, me not shutting up ain't working. Let me go back to being like shutting down. So then it was just a back and forth. And I finally got into therapy when I was at junior college, which at the end of the day, let's put it like this. If you are always growing, do not beat yourself up for the fact that you are not exactly where you want to be, because past you, I promise. I know I'm throwing a lot of P's in here, and it's like boom, 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 your headphones and your speakers, but the passion and drive that present you and the past you would have appreciated, you are doing so much better than you thought you was. I promise you. Like, even though the avenue or the direction that you feel like, where isn't where you should be, or maybe it is where you're at, or maybe it isn't where you're at. For me, it's not where I'm at. I feel like I've been very discouraged in the fact that I have not been what I've been telling myself, or like even for the fact that I was even supposed to graduate college already. But I am a religious person, and if that's not your background, that's cool. But in terms of, how I think and the way for which I move and how I operate, that is something under the Christian background. I'm not gonna hold you, but I am. One thing God does say is love your neighbor as you love yourself. So, not the Amber Alert. Who kid missing? I just like. I don't even know what it is in Texas, New Caney, Texas. I ain't never. Some. Y'all find these babies. Y'all need to find these babies. Honestly, I wish they'd be like, oh, we found them. Like, I wish we could get Amber Alerts for the fact that they found these kids. Has anybody ever thought about that? I think about that way too often. I'd be like, so did they find the kids? Because it's like you get the one Amber Alert and then you never get another one for that person. So it's like, are they still missing? Did y'all find the baby? That's totally besides the point. But that was on my mind. Like I said, there's no structure to this. I'm really just yapping off the dome, truly. Which it really don't take much. With no guards, no responsibilities, yeah, I can do it with my eyes closed. I'm not gonna hold you. But it is more so I'm just trying to figure out. And then junior college, I was struggling and was starting to get back to like high school me, where I didn't have no drive. Like I kid y'all not, I would read comics, manhwas, or however you saying, like the Chinese comics, the webtoon comics, which is like Korean comics, and then like the Japanese, the mangas. I would read those. That would be like the little passion that I have for the day, and I wouldn't have nothing else. Like I'd read it, be like, oh, I'm gonna read so and so chapters and I'm gonna do homework. Yeah, the homework never got done. He's like, oh, it's just your drive, it's just your determination. No, I'm sure I was to some degree probably depressed. I had no motivation, and I am not a person who personally wants to get medicated. I'm genuinely scared to get medicated for anything. I feel like it is gonna mess with my mental serotonin. It's gonna throw my balance off of my mental. I'm just not comfortable with it. And I'm not against anybody who does do it, because sometimes it's just too unbearable. I'm just not unbearable with it, or maybe that's what I'm telling myself to convince myself not to do it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose myself, but it is more so of I'm just trying to been figuring out as I go, so like I can see the signs, or I can feel myself kind of heading that direction, and like I'll do my hair, because I'm like, oh, the last thing I need is to feel bad and look bad. Like I gotta choose. So I'll do some braids or something when I feel myself heading a direction, or like I'll slick up my hair, make it easier for myself. So like I can see the signs, but it's still kind of hard to like push yourself past the point. And more recently, what's been on my mind is that I feel like it was important to bring that backstory, because that idea has been really kind of how I've been kind of leading in life kind of right now. Like I do express to people like, hey, I need some space, But more recently, I am trying to be open and honest, but I ain't gonna say it's a little discouraging sometimes because, like, when you talk to your friends, like, I mean, when I say your friends, I mean people who genuinely care about you. I mean people who are, not gonna be mad at you for saying this and the third. Like, I mean people that you feel like you can talk with your politics with. Like, I'm talking about those people. Because people are like, oh, yeah, we're friends, but, like, I don't know their political views. I know all my friends' political views. Half time they don't got none. But that's okay because I'm not discriminatory towards nobody. It is more so, like, I would rather you be educated in something or at least be willing to be educated more rather than, be closed-minded or quote-unquote ignorant. And if you are ignorant, that's cool for the most part, but I mean, if there is a way for which that you are ignorant to where it's against human rights, because one thing I'm for is human rights all day, every day, baby. I don't play that. And y'all can choose and pick what y'all feel about that. I don't care. I don't care. I am for the people. I'm for people. I'm for the children. Do I want kids? No, I don't want kids. I got plenty of kids. I got like 8 siblings in total. I don't want no kids. I don't want kids. I love my kids. I got my kids. I don't want no more kids. My sister, we are a decade apart. I don't want no kids. 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 I got enough kids. Whew. And then who gonna take care of my parents? Me. Me. I want no kids. I don't. So it's just one of those things that, like, I can see myself heading that direction. So, like, I'm already aware of the signs because of when I've been younger. So now I have been to therapy. When I was in high school, I went to this Caucasian lady. At the time I didn't feel comfortable telling her stuff because, growing up in an African American household is a lot different than growing up in a Caucasian household. And I felt that, like, I'm being real with y'all. I feel like they was gonna take my mom. I was gonna be took from my mom away from me. And at the time, like, my mother, I ain't gonna say she didn't do nothing that was worth me not being took. I'm not gonna say that, but it was more so of, like, it was not like I was provided a really good life in terms of, like, my mother had anger issues, and, like, whether or not she wants to admit it, that's cool. That's, we moved past that. You can't change the point of what I'm saying is, like, growing up, I learned I had a lot of mom issues, and a lot of that is because I saw this person so highly, someone who I appreciated in my life so dearly, and then I felt like whenever we get into it, I feel like stuff will be thrown in my face, and then I start to feel delusional because it's like you say some stuff and I call you out on it. It's like, I never said that. Huh? What do you mean you never said that? And then I start and I feel like I go crazy, and it's so, like, I be balling all this stuff in because I have one of those parents that, like, I have not done this in a while just because I'm a lot older, and I've had to slide down a couple of walls. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny, but, like, I'm being dead serious. I've had to slide down a couple of walls for, like, her to truly realize, okay, maybe what I'm doing isn't right for my kids, just a little bit. And I'm okay with it. I told my sister, I said, hey, if I got to be the guinea pig in order for you to have a better life, I'm so cool with that. I'm already traumatized. So it is what it is. There's nothing that can be undone. I love my mama. I don't hate my mama. But at a point, like, at the time when I was going through all this, like, there was a point where I felt like I was starting to not. I didn't like being around moms. Like, yeah, I don't like that. Like, I love my mother. This is the person who has birthed me. This person who has literally been in my life more than anything. My parents aren't together. Childhood sweethearts, like, is what I would prefer to call them. And then they just had a kid. Like, I ain't gonna say Papa was a Rolling Stone, but I love my father. But he's a little Rolling Stone. So, like, a nice man. Like, he's very much, as he got older, he was like, don't get a man like I was when I was younger. You know what? Ben knew that, but I appreciate you for giving me the advice. But trust, Ben knew that. I don't know how well I've been listening to that advice because I recently just got up a relationship, man, y'all. It's hitting. It's hitting. Because I'm so hyperly independent, it is so hard for me to get in a relationship. And especially after, for example, like, you've been in high school, and I've done, like, little high school relationships. But being in a relationship when you are now in college or, like, long distance, and or when you are getting financially situated, like, you have when I mean by financially situated, I mean you have enough money that you can provide you you got an apartment, you have enough money that you can provide you food, money, you have a job, activities, you have a car. Like, I'm talking about, like, you. And I mean the basics. And of course your folks can provide this or assist you with this, because mine are. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, my mommy and daddy don't do nothing for me. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I'm blessed, thankful,
blessed that my folks can help me financially. The Lord has blessed me. But in terms of like, my mother has raised me to be independent because growing up it was just me and her. Shout out to my stepdad. I love my stepdad. You know the video? I love my dad. Psh. You know the video? It's like the adult swim videos. Like, oh, I don't got a dad. Psh. I got a dad. I love my dad. And then he goes to like the little montages of like all the times of when he's with dad. Like, I love both my dads equally, truly. Even though I give them both hard times, but I love both my dads equally. So like, I'm not discrediting, but like, he did come in probably like, it's not that he didn't come in at an early age. It was more so my stepdad. My mother did not allow my stepdad to discipline me in terms of, because like that wasn't my parents. So like in her eyes, it's like, yeah, he, you know, he can tell you that you was wrong for that, but in terms of discipline, yeah, like leave it up to me. Which, I mean, I'm cool with that dynamic because I ain't gonna hold you. I did have a little, disagreement a few thousand times. But for me, I was one of those kids, like, I wasn't bad at school. Never. I was bad a few times after my grandma passed away. Like, that was my rock, y'all. Like, my grumps, my other heart. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and hold y'all. I miss her dearly to this day. And honestly, this month, I am not trying to cry on the first episode. Embarrassing. But no, I'm being for real. She passed away a few days before my birthday. So like, it honestly is, I love my birthday. I love the idea of being blessed to see a new year, being blessed to see a new age, being blessed to be around my family. But like, it's just so rough not having somebody who, was rooting for you so much in your life. And it's like, to not be able to see that person again. And it's like, oh yeah, they see you in spirit, but it's like, after you've seen that person in a casket, or like you've seen them go through cancer or anything life threatening, to where you just see the life literally sucked out of them, it's just something that does not go away, like, at all. So it's like, I do remember my grandma for the memories that we do have. But you know, back then with like 09, 08 type era, like people was taking pictures or like phones and stuff like that. But like, I ain't had no phone. I didn't get no phone until 7th grade. My grandma had already passed by then. So it's like, I'm taking all these memories and stuff on I got an iPad a little bit later, a year or two before. I want to say a year before she passed. So I got an iPad and stuff. So like, I was taking pictures, but like a lot of memories, I don't really, like, a lot of pictures and stuff, I don't really have her with me. So it's like really difficult around that time. And it's like, the idea of losing somebody is not necessarily to get over it, which is why like I never tell somebody like, I hope, you get over it. Like, I will never tell somebody that, because I don't believe that. Like, I will never get over the fact that I lost my grandma. That is somebody who was rooted for me when I didn't root for myself. That is somebody who defended me when I felt like I should give up. Like, my mother has for sure tamed a lot from when she has came from. Which is why I'm saying, like, which is why, like, when I look my sister in, I'm like, yeah, I know where you heading with this, and girl, you don't want to see the mama that I had to deal with. And it's like, I'm so grateful that my mother has been able to, not be as stressed. Things have changed, because in reality, she's got a better job. She got somebody to help financially, support her. She has somebody who, she can lean on. And for my mother, I feel like that was really her biggest problem. Still do think that's her problem. Love her to death, though. Like, girl, how you gonna be a nurse, can't help yourself? We'll talk about that later. Like, oh my gosh, how you help people but can't help yourself? But it's one of those things, like, I don't want to say it's a pride thing, but I feel like it is. And it's like one of those things, like, you have to, when it comes to therapy, you have to want to go for you. And the reason I say that is, like, even my aunt, for example, is like, oh, like, I'm just gonna go talk in therapy. Well, yeah, Pookie, that's kind of the point. And for me, it's like, you know what, this person, because originally I was going to therapy for validation. So I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything right with my life, or like, I feel like I don't know what, like, I started to question myself. And so like, when I would do bad in school and stuff, like, I would just randomly cry. And I'm like, bro, why am I even crying about this? And it was pissing me off, because I'm like, bro, any other day I wouldn't be crying about this, but you over here bawling in your car crying. And the day that like I decided to withdraw from school, I kid you not, I was supposed to have an exam, and I literally was like, yeah, I kid y'all not, I disassociated. That's one thing I need to do better at. I disassociate a lot. And that's not healthy, y'all. That's not healthy. I promise y'all that's not healthy. Don't do that. But I will acknowledge my faults. It is not healthy. It's not at all. So for me, like I was disassociating, and like I kid you not, I disassociated almost an hour drive home. Because at the time I was going into a college that wasn't in my hometown. I dissociated for an hour. Like an hour drive. I knew the route that I was going was a route that I take every day. So I was like, oh, I was a danger to society. No, I like on the road, I knew what I was doing, but I promise you, I could not tell you what car passed me, what truck. Like, I kid you not, I disassociated till I got home. Literally. Like, and it was like, my mental was getting more and more shot. And then at the time, my mother, we was just struggling when it came in the communication department. So there was a lot going on, but I am truly stronger, and I've really grown from that. I've gotten better at talking to my friends about it, because I'm one of those people, like, I like to talk to you about it after the fact that I'm not going through it, because like, I'm sitting in it, and now like I'm talking about it and I'm still in it. Like, it just makes me feel worse, if I'm being brutally honest. So like, I like to have some point of action or a plan, or at least, a little different set, little, like, I'm in a different step from when I started, so I don't feel like I'm necessarily like just dwelled up in it, or still like wrapped in it, which is why like it's very difficult for me to talk to like my friends or something, or like even family, because I don't want them to feel worried, because the point of them is not for me to burden people. And like for me and my mentality, I can't do that. Like, you telling me how you feel about something, it's not gonna burden me. It's not gonna worry. Like, I'm worried when you talk about it, but like I know that my friends and my family are strong enough to where I text my folks every week, or at least I really do be trying to. I try. I did not do it this week. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But it's one of those things of like, I want to make sure that you're okay, but like, I'm not gonna, I'm not worried too much about it, because I know that you're strong. I know that you, the individual that has, inspired me and been in my life. I know you are capable of doing, and sometimes people just really just want a rant or an ear, which is why I created this. I'm like, sometimes you just want an ear, or just to listen, or like, if there's somebody that can relate to what I'm related to, cool, that's what I'm here for. Like, y'all. And if so, like the times where you really just be yapping in your car, and it's like, you know what, I was really tripping about that, but now I'm not tripping about it. Or like situations, like for example, like I was telling you, I recently broke up with my I don't want to say broke up, but we were trying to make it, like, I was talking to somebody, we dated, nobody really knew we dated, we was on and off. If I'm being realistic, I eventually told my best friend. And then it was like, I was getting to the point where I didn't feel like I was giving myself enough self-worth, because I've even told him verbatim, if anybody was in a situation that I was in, I would have been told them to leave you, and vice versa. Like, if anybody was in a situation, like if any of my guy friends told me that they were in a situation that you were in with me, I would have been told them to leave you. And it's like, why am I not making myself stand up? So eventually, and it hurt even more when you're the person that cut the cord. So it's like, ooh. But it just got to the point where like we were just going back and forth, and we couldn't properly execute anything new, because we were too busy trying to hold on to the past. And it wasn't unintentionally, but I'm one of those people, like, I felt that it's best visually for me to describe how I'm trying to need love, or say that there's an issue. Like, I want you to be able to visualize where I'm getting it, so you don't think it's like, oh, I'm just pulling in my butt. Like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, hey, in this case, you did this and that. So it's not like me nitpicking, but it's me showing you, like, okay, in this particular case, I saw you do this. And in this particular case, I saw you do this. You know what I'm saying? So it just got to the point where, I was honestly getting frustrated. Like, only because I get so drained. My mom, it's like, I will listen 3 hours straight. Like, that was like minimum around the time for which that me and my mother went back and forth. And I feel like, not to say that we were different, but I feel like we did have differences in terms of the life that we grew up does reflect. Honestly, like, I'm being dead serious. The life that you grew up in does take a hold, or does take an account into how you love and how you are raised and to how you connect with other people. Like I'm not gonna say I'm sheltered, but I am more so very reserved because it's very hard for me to talk to people. Like I love my aunt, love her to death, but it's like sometimes I'll talk to my aunt and she's went behind my back and told my mama like things that I begged her not to tell. And it's like, okay, you disregarded what I said. And to this day, I've never done my aunt like that. Never. But like, it is just one of those things where like, it's really hard to really forget those things. And I forgive, but I just know like I can never allow you. And I've talked about stuff since then, but I cannot allow you to I can't allow that self to be to an extent that vulnerable, because it's like you've hurt me in the past numerous times, and which is why you always give people chances, you always try. But it's like I have no problem being vulnerable with my aunt because that's my immediate family. This is honestly my family's small. That's all I got. So it's like I have family, but it's like the family that know me, the know the person I am, the person I grew up to be, the person I am now. Like I only have a couple. Like I can count on my hands. Like not even my hands and toes, I can count on my hands. So it is one of those things of like you just have to be very mindful for which, you know, how you express to people. So I grew up a little more sheltered in terms of like I'm reserved. I'm very observant to body language, like bad. Like I can see that your tone has changed immediately, or like even when you say your tone has changed, like you're lying to me because I hear it. And it's like, oh, you're just overly aware. Like I am. Like I'm not gonna deny that, but it's like I'm overly aware because like my mom will go silent sometimes, and it's like everything really is truly reflected in how you grow up. It is like, which is why like it's important to go to therapy, but at the same time that don't mean that you can't find love while you're trying to fix yourself. But just know that you should genuinely love yourself before you get in a relationship. And the thing was, I love myself truly. I really did. I really do. Still do. I don't care. Period. But it is one of those things that, like, I have not been in a relationship in so long. So, like, and even my best friend clocked me. Shout out to my night poo. Had to shout her out in the first episode. But, it was one of those things that, like, she clocked me. Like, y'all got very comfortable with each other to where y'all weren't allowing each other. Like, y'all didn't feel comfortable, like, letting it go. Which she was open and honest. I had no issues admitting it. She was right. Like, I just got so comfortable having somebody who actually came to see me when I moved, or like even when I was sad, like he would try to make the effort. And then of course the reason like we stopped, the reason that the conversation kind of created a dispute was because of something small. Like it was kind of a smaller idea, but of course like the concept or the principle was what kind of boiled it down to, because something that I don't want to say he didn't necessarily grasp it, but at the beginning he didn't fully understand what I meant by that. So we're like, it was just frustrating me that like for me this is just like this, it's not obsolete, but it's like you don't get it, like you don't understand. And it was just frustrating, and it's like how would they understand or how would they get it? But it was like as simple as like like the idea was like I wanted the respect or like the consideration that I was giving you. Like for example, if I say, hey, you pissed me off, and I pissed you off, like just to know that wasn't your or my intention to genuinely piss you off or to make you sad or whatever it was. And like having to explain that, it was just frustrating because at first he really wasn't getting it. And I mean, hopefully he'll find that person for him. And I wish him the best in life. But like as where we're at right now, we are not talking at all. And honestly, am I sad about that? Yeah, because that is somebody I've really appreciated in my life. Friends, dating, etc. Like he's a really good person. But at the end of the day, I don't want to say if it was, y'all gonna eat me up on this one. Y'all gonna eat me up on this one. I don't believe in right person, wrong time. I don't believe in it. I really don't. I really don't. Y'all can call a spade a spade. I don't believe in it. I don't, because at the end of the day, if that person was meant for you in your journey at that moment, then they would fit for your lifestyle, or they would work with your lifestyle. But if they're giving you strife, or if they're giving you like everything has work, well, yeah. But if they loved you, why aren't they putting in the work to get to know you? Why aren't they putting in the work to understand your lifestyle? Why aren't they putting in the work to get to that? Because when me and my ex was together, we was working overnight, and then I stopped working overnight, and we was still talking on the phone. Like, you gonna meet in the middle. If you love somebody genuinely, truly, regardless of even, which is why I'm saying like there's no love that was lost. Like I still have love for him, because even though we didn't end because we were, in my personal opinion, I feel like we ended because we were incompatible. There was a lot of things that we couldn't understand about each other, while also not realizing that we were still not fully grasping the fact that we couldn't let go of things properly because we never gave each other space. You know, like I had cut the line and then we stopped talking and I blocked him for a little bit because I was just frustrated. Like I was very, like I was getting mad. It's like I feel like I'm going back and forth. I feel like, you know, every time you come down here, I feel like it's love, and when you leave, it's not as much love, but it is love because you calling on me, you checking on me on your own time. But it's like I'll text you, I don't hear back from days. Like it was similar things, but it was new things and it was different. So I was like, the effort was there, but it was like it's so hard to really be like, okay, is this really meant for me, or like am I tripping, or am I pushing it? Because like they're which is why it's so hard for like high school sweethearts, I would say, to really get situated with themselves, because it's like, okay, well, this person has been in my life, they know a lot about me. It's like, do I really want to let this go over, you know? And at the time it seems small, but in reality it's really something that's probably been bothering you that's really has tumbled over. But oh, not me yapping about my relationship. That's the last thing I was trying to start, but that's honestly what has been in my mind. And then more so, like I was saying, with my grandma, this is my grandmother on my mother's side. My grandmother on my father's side is still alive. I love my abuelita. I love my granny. That's my rock. That I call my grandparents every week. I call my papa today. Low key, I kind of need to call him tomorrow because we didn't have a proper conversation and I didn't ask him enough about how he was doing. He would, you know, I love that I have grandparents, and I'm fortunate enough to have grandparents that really allow me to listen. They allow me to talk and they listen. And if like one of my papa's favorite saying, if anybody can do it, you can do it. Like for real. You can tell that like he means that from his heart, and I love it. I truly do. But honestly, those have really been the main things in my mind. Like I just been, not to say I've been struggling, but I'm really trying to push myself to go past my limit. And you know, set an example, not because I want to be a role model, but more so that I want to be a person of my word. Like that is my vision board statement for the year. I want to be a person of my word. If I tell myself that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It's just so like if anybody is able to see that, hey, she's a person who works for herself, I know she can be there for me. Or even though, like, for example, if I'm there for other people, why can't I be there for myself? Vice versa. Like, I want to be that person for myself all around. So, but I hope y'all have enjoyed the first episode. I know I was rambling. I really was. I promise you, it'll be a lot more structured. For the most part. I kind of low-key got into kind of what I was talking about. What I will be talking about next week. Which is kind of overthinking, and like the idea of like overthinking in relationships and, you know, other stuff. And, you know, I'm a joke around here and there, but like I said, this is just for me to, you know, unscriptedly open up. Like I said, the only thing that I try to keep consistent is the intro, and I don't have an outro, so we're gonna play with it. But just trying to have some structure. Like I know I'm gonna talk about what I'm gonna do, and if y'all have any questions, I'm gonna create an email for FAQs and stuff. So I'll probably put in my bio when this first episode goes out. So if y'all have anything like, oh, maybe you should add more music or little soundboards, like give me some tips, give me some comments. Like, please be open and honest. And then if you have not already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could, like, you know, even follow. You may not want to keep up with me all the time, but at least follow me so I can at least pop up on your timeline to be like, oh, I wonder what she's doing. And then I am going to create a TikTok and I do have an Instagram. Instagram, y'all still speaking. TikTok, probably going to be y'all still speaking too. I don't know if this is called Y'all Still Speaking Podcast, just so you can know that this is a podcast. But I'm not too particularly sure if I want to have that label on the TikTok and the Instagram, because that's just long to type. I know that sound lazy, but that's just long to type. But yeah, I'm working on me. Are you working on you? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how your week feeling? My week just started. Last week was kind of rough for me because like I said, me and my ex broke up. I did lose an uncle. I didn't really get into that, but I lost an uncle this past week, and I've just really been struggling mentally these past few weeks. And then I had spring break because like I said, am in school, so I've been trying to get myself situated with spring break. And then like I appreciate the break, but trying to get back into the groove, really, you know, get that drive going. And so it's like I'm hoping that me trying to push myself creativity will kind of give me that drive to go, you know, back into school. But yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think me mentally, I think I had about a 5. Not too bad, not too good, but I appreciate it and I'm grateful that I'm still here, I'm still present. But I feel like I've been struggling a little bit more in terms of I've been very frustrated myself and I'm just trying my best. But I'm working hard. I am about to be a year older next month, and next month will be here in a couple of days. It is literally March what is today? Oh my gosh. Is the clock on my thing wrong? It is. It's over here. Sorry. I have a PC, and on my PC that must say 311. Girl, I wish I had that time. This semester is flying through. It is 3/23 of 2026 at 11:22 p.m. because I'm doing this at the night. I went to the gym and get my stuff all situated, but yeah, I hope this new week for you goes better than it did last week, and vice versa. You know, even though it may, and if it doesn't go better, I hope the next week after that goes better. Or the next time I see y'all, the next time we talk, or the next time y'all listen, because you know, if no one does you, then nobody will. Like, there cannot be anybody out there that does you like you, and don't forget that. But I like my outro for my YouTube, so I am gonna keep that there. If y'all don't like it, by hubbub. No, I'm just playing. If y'all don't like it, let me know. Should I shorten it? You know, I take constructive criticism. Don't just be criticizing to criticize, because I'm gonna ignore it and I'm a troll and I got burner account. No, I'm just playing. Am I? No, I'm just playing. I am, because I'm trying to get a corporate job. I'm just kidding. Like, at the end of the day, I'm just a girl just trying to be aware of her digital footprint while just trying to learn how to be creative in her own element. Lucky. But if no one told you that they love you, I love you. If no one has told you that you're proud of you, I'm proud of you. Most importantly, please stay brilliant. Be safe. Watch your surroundings. These folks are crazy. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Bye.